Still Boswell, and here we go. Chris Froome, the first man to attack, straight over the top of his teammate Boswell. Two riders from Sky, the dynamic duo, Kenyuk and Froome, now coming together at the front.
The champion of the Tour de France, the champion of Great Britain have joined in tandem. Their teammates, and in theory now, Scott, it's all downhill to the finish.
Out of the saddle now as they come towards the sprint.
Sky are the winners, first and second as they salute the crowd, but it'll be Peter Kenyuk in yellow tomorrow.
Coming to the top, Froome looking for more points in the race for the King of the Mountains classification, opening up a small gap on the peloton. They hit the bottom of the climb, Cooper let go of Froome. The dual winner of the Tour de France, doing what he does best, launching his bid for victory. Froome won the stage, and it was enough to move him into yellow. It was a 1-2 for Team Sky. Froome going out the winner.
No, they pick up and Dan Martin wants a piece of the day. But Dan Martin is coming home for an absolute belter here. But the victory goes to De Gent. And Thomas De Gent does his country proud.
And then here comes Chris Froome
Wow.
with the Romain Bardet and Dan Martin.
Now, interesting moment coming up here. Youngles and Kochetkov about to be joined by two big Grand Tour contenders. Riding away from TJ van Garderen, looking to rescue his Tour de Romandie with a stage win. And Chris Froome is all ready to take stage 4 of the Tour de Romandie. He takes the win on stage 4 in the rain and miserable conditions. And it's a brilliant win for Sky, with Froome crossing the line first.
And just look at that! Oh, 12 seconds advantage over Chris Froome. Bragging rights, they belong to Bertie for now. Suddenly we have a quintet and we're so close to the line. It's going to be a sprint between these five. Oh, and a touch of wheels further back down. It is Bardet that's on the deck. And they're coming straight by. Oh, Harada goes round just about everybody. He rounds Rodriguez. Chris Froome in the frame as well. Mouth again, line beckoning. What a fantastic late push that was.
Froome is there, Bardet is there, Volker-Mollema is there, Alaphilippe is there.
And this looks like Dan Martin winding up for an attack. And here we go, Dan Martin was waiting to go for it and now he lights it up. Alaphilippe can't follow and has decided to stay with Chris Froome. Look at the response behind and Chris Froome's gone and he's dragged Contador here as well. Richie Porte tries to respond, absolutely superb stuff.
What an attack, there was some great team tactics by Team Sky.
Porte sits back down and Froome takes the day. What a way to take the lead of the Dauphiné.
With 1 minute 35 seconds, Bardet has just lost the virtual male John on the road.
Pinot thinks he's going to get this. Oh, and he does. He breaks the heart of the young man at the very last. Take that, he says. And Dan Martin is out of the saddle. He's going for this as well. Chris Froome in 4th place. What a race and what a champion we have in Chris Froome. Quintana manages to grab a bottle and Froome goes on the attack on his end here. He wants a bit of space between himself and everybody else. He'd like to time the trial this one in and suddenly the alarm bells go off behind. Mouth agape as you can see and he's determined to make this stick short. He's got a gap. Valverde knows about it. He's engaging the chase right now and he's threading it, a golden thread if you like. Here we go, the Flamme Rouge, Sean, and he's done the hard work. Every second counts as far as Chris Froome is concerned, and now we start to count, and it's a cost that others are going to have to pay on an amazing day for Chris Froome. The boys here. This has been an absolute privilege. 12.4 kilometres to go. Peter Sagan, is he going to go for an early one? Look at Chris Froome. We said it before, on a fast day, Chris Froome is often very well placed. He's arrived to the threat of Sagan, and this is good marking out by Chris Froome here. This is going to be one heck of a famous victory. I think Sagan might well take the stage, but who knows? Always said on a fast day, watch for Chris Froome, and he's going to duke it out with Sagan for the line here. He has to show aggression, and he does. Sagan takes the win. Chapeau to him and to Chris Froome. Hats all over the place.
There's 50 points and a polka dot jersey, and at last a stage win as well for Thomas de Gent.
It's Chris Froome that goes though. Chris Froome draws out Port, he draws out Quintana. Quintana goes backwards. All of a sudden, others now are starting to feast upon him, Sean.
It looks as though Malcolm Oliver has crossed the void and is caught up.
Here is Chris Froome as well, who just pushes on, staying with it.
There's a problem here, Phil. What's happened? Well, there's an accident here. As far as I can see, that was the yellow jersey group, and they've gone down. That was because a motorbike got involved.
He's actually running for the line. Where's his bike? That's the question. What a dramatic end to today. And he's on the radio. Somebody picked my bike up. He's on a yellow bike. It's not his own. It's a neutral bike. And it looks like it doesn't fit.
You know, it could be that Adam Yates is the next leader of the Tour because the yellow jersey has been given a bike that's absolutely useless. Paul comes in and said, what on earth, what's going on?
We'll have to see what the commissaires make of all of this at the end. Adam Yates leads the race provisionally.
Here are the updated yellow jersey standings. Chris Froome is the leader still.
Tom Dumoulin hitting the line, and this is going to be absolutely magnificent because this is a proper time and it may well just be the winning effort. Absolutely remarkable. Froome about to start a time trial that could well define this entire race, and in this kind of mood and in this kind of moment he can be lethal. Here comes Christopher Froome. He's not going to beat Tom Dumoulin, but he has beaten, I think, just about everybody else. Chris Froome, I don't think that's a smile, it's a grimace from him. My goodness, Froome just did a bit of fakery. Richie Porte it is that goes for it, and Froome now goes and says to hell with everybody, I'm going to eat into this mountain. Paul crosses the line, Froome almost at the same time, and there'll be a gap between them. Brilliant time by Tom Dumoulin, and there it is. It'll stand loud and proud for quite some time. That is a man who has set his stall out for a third stage win on this Tour de France. 16.2 kilometres to go. Most of his run, and Chris Froome is underway. Chris Froome, second checkpoint. How much ground has he made up? Remember, he was down at the first in 5th place. It's all positive for Chris Froome at the moment as he comes up. He descends, he runs, he climbs, he time trials. The best man has crossed the line, and I'm sure now that yellow belongs to him. Oh, and others, I think that was Oliver going wide on the road. Oh, big one. My goodness, what a nightmare. Oh, Froome's down as well. Froome as well. Is that Aru that's winning? Is he hurt? He's going to swap bikes. He takes one of a teammate and away he goes. Froome is up and riding, Sean, but it shows you nothing is certain in this game. And quite rightly as well, they cheer their yellow jersey on. What a gutsy performance that is. The strength of Froome and the Sky team has been something to behold. Chris Froome is our champion. It's an absolute privilege to be able to say it again, Sean. Chris Froome takes his third Tour de France. The 103rd edition of this magnificent race draws to a close.
A masterclass from one of the greats of the sport. The four-time world champion has produced a ride which means he could become the Olympic champion. And Chris Froome underway in the Olympic time trial. This course does suit him. He's got a chance. Froome should be coming into the finishing straight now, indeed. Here he is, it's Chris Froome coming up towards the line. Is the effort good enough to snatch the bronze medal as he crosses the line now? It's bronze for Chris Froome. He's managed to get a medal here in the Olympic Games.
It's close. We'll wait for confirmation, shall we? Oh, they're leading 30-37. And here come Movistar. Where is Sky, you're asking? There is a gap there. There's the Quintana group. And is that Chris Froome that's just tagging onto the rear here? Chris Froome finishing fourth today. There it is, and Chris Froome is not in the front group right now, and I'm afraid this is Chris Froome just struggling ever so slightly at the moment. And there goes Contador, and he's going off with Quintana. Here comes Froome. He's on his own right now, and he's powering his way through. And still, Chris Froome pushes on. This is great work by him. And away he goes. Quintana's had enough of passengers, and he's doing it for himself. Quintana takes it, does a superb job, and the clock counts back. Damage limitation by Chris Froome. Froome crosses the line right now. Superb effort by him. There's a huge split behind them though, and I'm just wondering whether a few hearts have already been broken today. And this is an amazing piece of strategy that's eking out at the moment. Chris Froome is in the trailing group. Froome's been on the radio. Come on guys, where are you? His team are at 1 minute and 38. This could be the biggest mugging we've seen in this year's Vuelta. And if this rocks on all day, Sean, this is a big dangerous moment for Chris Froome. Well, at the moment, Chris Froome is in a losing position for this entire race. Quintana versus Brambilla for the stage win, but Quintana versus Froome, I think, for the victory on this year's Vuelta, and it's 2.5 minutes just nudging now between Quintana and indeed Froome. My goodness, Brambilla's going to take the day, but taking the crown, surely. He's got one hand on it, Quintana already. The big clock, of course, is the gap that sits between Quintana and indeed Chris Froome, and has the challenge of Chris Froome sunk on this day. Chris Froome has a job to do. He knows it's going to be a tough task. He knows that closing a gap of 3 minutes and 37 can't be accomplished today, but he may well take a big step towards narrowing the difference between himself and Nairo Quintana. Huge moment for Chris Froome now. If ever there was a coiled spring, you're looking at it right now. Every second counts, and Chris Froome wants to nail this, and Quintana is about to launch. There he goes with a roar from the Colombian fans. There's a battle to be fought out here. He just needs to do his best to limit the damage that surely will be imposed by Chris Froome. It's a mighty gap though. It should surely be enough for Quintana. This is one of the outstanding time trialing performances of Chris Froome's career, and he's taken a massive bite out of the gap between himself and Quintana. Chris Froome is not to lie down easily. We'll see whether he will be beaten finally. And there you are, it's more than 2 minutes as a gap. Quintana will see the line, and this can't come soon enough. And the damage, it's going to be writ large for us. Oh, 2 minutes and 16 Froome has found on this time trial. That is an outstanding performance. Chris Froome, talk about team performances, Sean. Amazing stage to Formigal, where Froome got isolated, and I think it'll go down as almost a reference point on what's possible when you're the leader, and indeed what's possible in a negative way if you're not attentive. Now Quintana is our champion, Sean, and a worthy one. Chris Froome can take a great deal of credit out of this race as well. And what a great finale to what has been a great race.
Of course, I mean, I was here to fight for the victory, but after the season that I had, the Tour, the Olympics, the Vuelta, this has been the best season for me so far. So I'm really happy, and I'm really happy to finish another Vuelta.